So you want to move to Kansas City? Well, this fast-growing metropolitan area is excellent for job opportunities. We've got top-rated universities. We've got some amazing culture and art. And of course, we've got some world-renowned barbecue. Well, those are just a few things, but I've created a list of 14 different things that you'll want to know when you're considering moving here to Kansas City. And if you already live here, this video would be a really good opportunity to just watch and get refreshed, because there might be some things in this video that you don't already know. So let's get into it. If we've never met before, my name is Anita Cordell, and I make videos about all things Kansas City. What it's like to work here, what it's like to live here, the communities, what it's like to play here, all kinds of recreation, and of course, I cover the weather. And I'm also a licensed real estate agent and team leader of the Yellow Brick Group, and we help people just like you buy, sell, relocate, and invest right here in our amazing city. Why? Because there's no place like home. Now let's get into the reason why you clicked on this video, and I'm going to be covering the 14 things that you should know about living in this city. I also want to invite you to go ahead and write in the comments. So if there's something that I missed, or there's another place that you think I need to cover in my YouTube channel, be sure and comment below. It helps people who are reading and watching the video to learn more about the city as well from somebody like yourself. So I welcome you to write it. And also too, if you have any questions or you're thinking about moving here, in the description below you'll find my contact information, including a link to my calendar. It goes right to my calendar, and you'll be able to click on that and schedule an appointment with me, and we can discuss some of your real estate goals. The first thing that I would like to tell you about Kansas City is that it sits on the state line of Kansas and Missouri. It has two sides. There's one side that's on Kansas and one side that's on Missouri, and there's people that are very specific about the side that they want to live in. That's right, the metropolitan area spans across two states. How did that happen? The city was originally founded on the Missouri side, which is where you'll find downtown Kansas City and the historic Westport area, where frontier settlers landed. And then as the city grew, people moved across the Kansas River to make their homes on the Kansas side. So just one thing to know is that when you move here, and even if you live here, a lot of times people will ask you when you're traveling, where are you from? Then most times people will say, I'm from Kansas City. Even though there's a lot of suburbs around here, they'll just say the Kansas City metropolitan area. And if you are savvy about the area, or you're talking to somebody who's savvy, then they will ask you, do you live on the Kansas side or the Missouri side? So just an FYI there. And then a lot of times when you're here, people will ask you, which side do you live on? Another thing to know is when you're out there and about, a lot of times people won't say Kansas City, Missouri or Kansas City, Kansas. They reference it as KCMO. They scrunch it all together. And then if you live on the Kansas City, Kansas side, they'll say KCK. Just a little tip to remember, Kansas City is on two sides of the state line. Number 2 of my list of 14 things that I think you should know about the Kansas City metropolitan area covers our universities. If you are thinking about moving here or enrolling in kids in your universities, or if you're an adult and you want to go back to school, you have a lot of options. And these options are top-rated universities that call Kansas City home. You can enroll in programs like biology and medicine and marketing, computer science, and more at UMKC. Then there's also the business administration side. There's biochemistry and political science at a private university called Rockhurst. You can also go for a graduate degree in biomedical science, osteopath medicine, or even psychology at the Kansas University. And the Kansas University also is a part of Lawrence, and then they have several different locations in the Kansas City metropolitan area if you didn't want to make that drive to Lawrence, just FYI. Then you can also choose from nursing and international business and some other top-rated programs at another private university called Avila. If you want to start with a community college, then you can embark on your journey at Metropolitan Community College. There's also some top-rated programs at Metropolitan Community College, such as building maintenance, governance, there's cybersecurity, criminal justice, and there's more. And if you're into the arts, you're gonna want to consider the Kansas City Art Institute. They've got some fantastic programs like creative writing, painting, they've got graphic design, and even animation. The third thing out of my 14 things on my list that you will want to know about Kansas City is that there are a lot of job opportunities. Kansas City offers a lot of opportunities for families as well as young professionals, and just so you know, it has a 2.6 unemployment rate. You can find Kansas City job opportunities in major company headquarters like Hallmark Cards, Commerce Bank, H&R Block, and of course the St. Luke's Health System. If you're looking for tech jobs, Kansas City also has some options for you as well. There's also some new job opportunities coming. We've got Google coming here, we've got Meta. There's also some other big organizations that have landed their spots right here in the Kansas City area. And of course, if you are an entrepreneur, Kansas City is a great place for startups. The fourth thing out of my list of 14 things that you'll want to know about Kansas City deals with transportation. For the most part, you are going to need a car to get around in the Kansas City area. The suburbs are kind of spread out, and of course that makes sense because there's almost 2.3 million people that live in this metro area. Just so you know, if you live in the downtown area, transportation can be a choice. In fact, I know of people that have moved to the downtown area of Kansas City and they've gotten rid of their car. There's KC Rideshare, there's buses, you can even rent bikes and scooters to get around, and most of the time downtown it is either walkable or you can get to someplace very, very easily. But downtown is one of those areas where you don't have to have a car, but most people do. But as an example, I have a friend who lives downtown, and when Friday night comes and they park their car, they will leave their car in their parking lot for most of the weekend. They'll walk to pretty much everything down in downtown Kansas City. And then there's other people who don't even own a car. But as far as the suburbs are concerned, you will, for the most part, need a vehicle to get around in our suburbs. The fifth thing on my list of 14 things that you'll want to know about Kansas City deals with art and culture. If you love art and culture and history, Kansas City is so rich in all of this. When it comes to museums, it will keep you busy for a very long time. You can explore photos and films and memorabilia from the American jazz era, and you can learn about the American history right here in Kansas City at the American Jazz Museum. Another museum that's really popular here is the National World War I Museum. You can immerse yourself in virtual reality with their War Remains exhibit, or you can walk through the World War I history in the main gallery. We also have the former train station called Union Station, where you can learn about Kansas City's railway history, catch a show in the planetarium, or you can explore the interactive Science City exhibit. Then hop on over to the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art, where they've got a European Renaissance paintings display and all kinds of other historical art at the Nelson Art Gallery. And while you're down there, you can explore the Legoland Discovery Center. Now, I did mention the Jazz Museum, and I want to go and explore that just a little bit more, especially if you are into the arts and music and history. There's a reason why Kansas City was once known as the Paris of the Plains. In the 1920s and 30s, Kansas City was really popular with their jazz music. We also had a lot of history with gambling and drinking and partying and what have you. Now, Kansas City isn't as wild, in my opinion, as what I've seen from the 1920s and 30s, but that's where that name came from. We do have some live jazz music going on here in Kansas City, which will make you want to actually invest a little bit more time into the history of jazz, and it might spur some love for it. You might want to consider checking out the Blue Room Jazz Club at the American Jazz Museum, where you can find some of these live jazz musicians showcasing some of their Kansas City musical talents. Head on over to the Green Lady Lounge for live jazz performances every single day. And you can also go to the Phoenix throughout the week for live music in Kansas City. The sixth thing that I want to tell you about on my list of 14 things about Kansas City is our fountains. We are actually called the City of Fountains here in the United States. We have over 200 registered fountains right now, and 48 of them are publicly owned. The history of the Kansas City fountains dates all the way back to the 1800s, but the city of fountains was actually ingrained into our city culture in 1992 when a fountain was added to our city logo. If you go over to Mill Creek Park, you're going to see the fountain that is the most photographed fountain in all of the Kansas City area. It features 4 horsemen and children playing on a fish. Then you can honor 6 brave firefighters by visiting the Firefighters Fountain and Memorial. Kansas City takes great pride in our fountains, and in fact, in early April, we have one day where it's our day of turning on all of the fountains, and so those 48 publicly owned fountains get turned on. The 7th thing on my list of 14 things that you'll want to know about Kansas City is our entertainment. There are so many fun things to do, especially with kids or family or loved ones right here in our city. One of the best Kansas City attractions and the most thrilling is, of course, our park called Worlds of Fun. It's one of the funnest places to go if you want a day full of enjoyment with your family and kids. There's also Oceans of Fun, which is connected to Worlds of Fun. And Oceans of Fun is a 64-acre water park, and it offers slides like Aruba Tuba, Constrictor, and the Shark's Revenge. You can also visit the Kansas City Zoo. It's got 202 acres. If you are into also animals, you can go to Deanna Rose Park out in Overland Park. We also have a ton of escape rooms throughout the Kansas City metropolitan area. I just listed a few of the top entertainment things that you can do in the Kansas City metropolitan area. If you watch my videos, I will be sprinkling more in throughout the videos, so be sure and like, subscribe, and follow this channel if you want more information about Kansas City. Number 8 on my 14 things that you'll want to know about Kansas City is sports. If you love watching pro sports, you're going to love Kansas City. We have a huge fan base. All kinds of people love sports. Not everybody, but a lot of people love sports. You're going to just love it here. So whether you're a football fan, a baseball fan, soccer fan, Kansas City has the perfect professional team that's just for you. You can cheer on the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. You can go to the Kansas City Royals as they play out the park at Kauffman Stadium. You can head on over to the Legends Field to watch the Kansas City Monarchs duke it out at the American Association of Professional Baseball. They are a partnership organization to the MLB. You can watch the Kansas City Mavericks race across the ice. You can also take your friends to Sporting KC at Children's Mercy Park. And of course, we've got the new women's soccer field that you can go to. And we have the Kansas Speedway if you're into NASCAR racing. We have something for everyone when it comes to professional sports. Number 9 on my list of 14 things that you will want to know about Kansas City deals with the performing arts and theater. I love living in Kansas City, and if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I also come from the performing arts, and people hire me to be in their commercials. I'm also in films, and so I believe that it is one of the best things to do here in Kansas City. On a date night or taking your family out, we've got multiple options. You can find all kinds of unique Kansas City events to do when it comes to the performing arts, such as opera and ballet. There's all kinds of concerts. We have all kinds of venues that support performing arts, and so we have a wealth of choices for you. And speaking of venues, there's one special venue. It's called Starlight Theater. It's one of the outdoor theaters. Then there's also another outdoor theater called Theater in the Park. They have all kinds of options of shows, so you'll definitely want to take a look at those. You've also got the Folly Theater downtown, and then one of my very favorite places to go on a date night is the New Theater Restaurant, where you can go and eat dinner and watch a show, and I've covered this on several other videos in the past, but you'll definitely want to check out our performing arts communities here in Kansas City. And these all here are not even including all the community theaters throughout our city. The 10th thing on my list of 14 things that I think you're going to want to know about Kansas City deals with festivals. We have all kinds of festivals here in Kansas City, and they cover a range of interests. So with that being said, you will always have something to do here. So you can dive into the art of filmmaking at our Kansas City Film Fest. You can meet comic book creators, you can enter contests, you can play games of all different sorts at the Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City. Then we've got the Kansas City Fringe Fest, which has theater and dance and film and more. Then we also have the Kansas City Irish Fest, where you have Irish culture, where there's live music, performing arts, there's the history of Ireland, you can taste the classic Irish cuisine. And to top it off, you can go to the Deaf Culture Festival, where you can learn more about deaf culture and American Sign Language. Number 11 on my 14 things that I think you're gonna wanna know about is, of course, our barbecue. If there's one thing that you know about Kansas City, we have some amazing barbecue. And now I know that there's other cities around like Houston and Memphis and some other places in Dallas that claim that they have the best barbecue, but I'm not sure if the Kansas City residents are going to agree with that. Now, there are a lot of places that you can go in Kansas City. There's tons and tons of barbecue places to go and eat. Just to name a few, here are some of my favorite and some of my clients' favorite. Be sure and visit Joe's Kansas City Barbecue for dishes like the open-faced lean and mean, or you can go to Jack Stack Barbecue, where I love their pork ribs and I also love their burnt ends. Then you can go to Gates Barbecue. One of the things that people love about Gates is when you walk in, you will get welcomed with a loud welcome to Gates. It's kind of a historical or traditional thing that people do, and people love Gates. If you're looking for some smoked wings or some barbecue nachos, Hog's Jaw Q and Brew would be a place to go. And then I have to mention Q39. Q39 is also a very popular place to go. They have this house-made chipotle sauce that's super, super good. Now, if you're not into barbecue, that's totally fine, because the 12th thing on my list of 14 things that I think you're gonna wanna know about Kansas City is the fact that we have all kinds of other fantastic places to eat other than barbecue. One of my favorite places to go is at Union Station, called Pierre Ponson. It is amazing when it comes to steak. I love that place. They have seafood there as well, and you will not want to miss an opportunity here to go. Another place I love is the Melting Pot. It's also down in the Plaza area, and so if you're wanting just to check out a few different places, go downtown, go to the Crown Center Plaza, you'll want to definitely check out some of these restaurants. And we don't just have American food here in Kansas City. We have Australian flavored things, we have Irish, we have all sorts of other cuisines that you will want to check out, and there's a long, long list of great restaurants here in town. And number 13 on my list of 14 things that you will want to know about Kansas City deals with nightlife. If you want to go out and hit the mood in town, or if you want to just go out and enjoy an evening with your friends, there's some places that you can go when you're wanting to just go out and rewind, if that's what you like doing. One place to go is to head over to KC Live. It's in the Power and Light District. You're gonna find live entertainment. Basically, it's an indoor and outdoor facility, so where you'll be able to be comfortable in your own space and have a lot of fun as well. In fact, the outdoor area is where, if you see online in any type of celebration video footage, when the big games of, you know, the Super Bowl games or football or what have you, when there's something big going on and it's getting televised, you will see a huge crowd down there in this open spot. Another great place to go is Chicken and Pickle. There's some outdoor lawn games that you can play. There's tons of great food. It's a really great atmosphere. Now, I will say this, that I am not a drinker and I don't go out to bars, so I don't have a long list of places to go when it comes to nightlife. But if you do and you have some fun places that you enjoy, feel free to mention them in the comments below, and I'm sure the other viewers will enjoy seeing your comments. Last but not least, number 14 on my 14 things that I think you will want to know about living in Kansas City has to do with our day trips. We have a lot of options, so if you want to get away for a weekend, or if you want to just get away for one day, we have some options for you, and they're fantastic. And some of them are only you know, an hour's drive. Some of them are 3 or 4 hour drives. You got the Ozarks, which is a great weekend getaway. You've got Branson, Missouri. You also have Atchison, Kansas, Weston, Missouri, Parkville, Missouri. You've also got Springfield, Missouri, and in Springfield there's some Missouri caves that you can go into. We've also got some Amish cities that you can go and shop and pick up some really cool things. One's called Jamesport, Missouri. These are all just great places to visit if you want those quick trips just to get your family and friends out and about. You know the drill. If you like this video, be sure and give me a thumbs up. It helps this channel grow. And also, if you found this valuable information, please subscribe to my channel. It's going to help me grow as well. And then click that bell so that you are notified anytime I post something new. Also, if you live in the Kansas City metropolitan area and you want me to do a video about a certain area, or you want me to review a restaurant, feel free to put it in the comments below and I will take that into consideration when I am going out and videoing. And also, just so you know, if you are considering another city on top of Kansas City, I have a network of top-notch professional agents who I can get you in contact with and that can help you with your real estate goals in that. Just shoot me a text, send me a message, or give me a call and I will help in any way I possibly can. And don't forget, go out and live your best Kansas City life.